glad you were here. Thank you for being in the audience. We have a fantastic guest right here, Adam Kuhn. I'll introduce him in just a second, but welcome to Component Carousel. This is the first episode, and every single month we make a single website, and that website has a great theme to it, kind of a ridiculous theme. So this month's theme is architects that are also architects of bouncy houses or bouncy castles. So basically they are sophisticated and they're elite and they're very professional, but also the thing that they make is bouncy castles. So kind of the combination of the most ridiculous and fun and silly thing in the world and a very serious and grave profession who just I don't want to say pompous, but a little bit, right? Like some of the language can get that way. So that's this month's theme, and every single week we're going to be bringing on, hey everybody in the chat, hello. So every single week we're going to be bringing on someone to build out a component to match that theme, and just be one single component, and it's going to be a great time. So today we have on one of my absolute favorite creative developers, and honestly, I'm thrilled that he is kind of the first person doing this, because Adam was someone that I reached out to before I even started Front End Horse, and he kind of helped me like with the idea, and I was like gut checking it with him back for the original newsletter. Like he was helpful in starting that, and then when I tried streaming last year, he was the first person to come on for that. And so now I got another streaming show, and he's on again. So like it's just kind of been this thing that since there's been Front End Horse, there's been Adam Kuhn being there, supporting, being awesome. So just a phenomenal guy. Thank you so much for being here, Adam. I really appreciate you coming on for this brand new format that's probably going to have, well, I mean, it already has a few bugs. It already has a few bugs, and I'll explain that in a second. But just want to say welcome.
Yeah. No, thanks. I think that's okay running into a few bugs, seeing as the first stream that we did went off
the first one. Get off my back, everybody. Jeez. Let me just make sure real quick. See a lot of people entering the thing. I was going to make sure, yep, it's working. So I've got, because the bot doesn't confirm, I just want to confirm just super quick. So Brad, Collab TV, Darmy, Jay Coulter. So I see a whole bunch of people in there. So just letting you know that you are entered into the raffle, and we'll close it at the end. Thank you so much for coming through. So Adam, first, I want to kind of introduce you to people if they aren't familiar with you in the first place. Adam has just a treasure trove of code pens. The first time he was on stream with me, we just went through a bunch of his code pens, and honestly, I could have done it for like 5 more streams. You have so much good stuff that I just love. It's so playful. It's such a good feel. Like, so this one's completely CSS. I'm just going to kind of like breeze through a few of them. This is a neomorphic toggle, which is easily the greatest design trend that's ever come to anything, really. I mean, right?
Yes.
It's by far the best. But this is...
I do it all for Pete.
Yeah. Shout out to Pete Barr over in Australia.
That's right.
Who just loves this trend. This is a bit of a hint, I think, right? So this is a bit of a sample of today, I'm guessing. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not going to be a one-to-one, but
conceptually very similar though. So yeah, this is effectively what we're going to be working with.
Just amazing, right? Like amazing. So a little Swisted posters or 4 Swisted posters. I think you click to refresh them. So Adam is just phenomenal with animation, phenomenal with just he's got a great design eye. I just love all of his stuff. A lot of his stuff involves butts or farts in some way, and that just is like totally my childish vibe also. I love it. Lots of generative art, like this one's gorgeous. Yeah, so Adam, please, you're going to drop his link in the chat. This is his CodePen. Even his CodePen homepage is just so good. The way that this animates out to show his name, just fantastic. So, Adam, thrilled to have you on. I'm excited to see what you have in store for us. But real quick, I just want to give a shout out. First off, to everyone in the chat, thank you so much for being here. I see Killian, Green Machine. I think that's Darren. I'm pretty sure that's Darren Senef. Got a whole bunch of. I see Rich in the chat. Whole bunch of great people. Brad, good to see you. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Forge 13 just became a horse. Thank you for following. Awesome. So shout out to Jamie Coulter, who bailed me out of making just a really trashy, well, just a bad logo. He helped me come up with, well, no, didn't help me. He pretty much came up with Component Carousel, that logo there, the color scheme. Saved my butt as I was trying to get all this together. So thank you to Jamie Coulter. And I know he's not feeling too well today, so hope you're feeling better, dude. So moving on to the actual form now. I ran into some bugs when I was getting this all together, and basically had a whole Next.js project built out, ready to go. And it's not working right now, so we are going back to a fallback of CodePen. So the format is going to be that we build out an actual site, and we're using Next.js and Slice Machine, which is the Prismic component builder, and just was hitting some errors. And yeah, so instead of taking you all through how to debug Next.js and all that stuff, I figured, let's just get to the component. Let's build it out here, and then we can port it over to React at a later date, and we'll make do for now, right? So that's my bug explanation, all right? So it's not going to always be this way, but for now, we're just going to get to the component. We're going to get into it and have some fun with it. So, Adam, one thing that I just realized is that we need to host the fonts somewhere, right? Because I've downloaded the web fonts, and we need to put those somewhere. I don't think I have an answer. See, Adam without a hat. So Jamie says he's never seen you without a hat.
Oh, hey, hats off to you, Jamie. Yeah, that's I don't think I've not had a hat since I've been like 15 years old. So.
Cool. So let's pull in this folder over here, and what was I gonna? Oh yeah, so we need to put those fonts somewhere. I didn't get a chance to do that because they were in my Next.js project, but now they are just on my desktop. So can we put those in the CodePen assets, right?
Yeah,
that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We can just throw them in there as long as they're not huge. So,
it's just going to open that. All right. Balloon. Yeah, it does. There we go. Come on. There we go. Nope. Okay. Let's see what we got. Downloads, Balloon. Got so much junk in here. Let me pull this off screen just for the sake of it. It's always a risky thing, but it's just a lot of... It's weird because I have pictures of so many people on here, but it's all because of like the shows that I'm running and all that stuff. And it just seems like it feels creepy. I got, like,
sure.
I like
yeah,
a picture
that's
of
what it
you
is,
in
right?
there, just like stalking Adam. And yeah. Anyway, all right, here we go. So we are set there. Does it have like a copy font, copy URL? All right. So Balloon base, Balloon player, Balloon OTF. We're good there. All right, cool. So we've got those for when we need them. But where do you want me to start?
Actually, if you want to just paste those in, I'm not sure if I'm able to share your assets. So
okay, cool. So I'll just
need to import
put
those
in the JavaScript section. Well, that doesn't really make sense. But just
but it's fine.
Cool. All right, so that was Balloon OTF. So I think Balloon OTF is the one that has the holes punched through it already. Balloon base is going to not have the holes. And yeah, there were pictures of Cassie in there. That was so great question from Nuha in the chat. Thank you so much. She said, which component are you going to build? So Adam, what's the kind of concept for this component? So we're taking basically a standard boring component of what?
Of a email capture form fill. So awesome. Yeah, it was familiar territory for me as I've done a whole bunch of ridiculous versions of it. I'm kind of just like waiting to bite until somebody approaches me to actually implement it, like in a production environment, which is probably not great because most of them are a nightmare to debug across devices, but
make accessible and all that other stuff, right? But so basically taking your standard email signup form and making it just a blast, because he's Adam has a few of these, so excited.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, first we should probably just let's pull in our fonts.
Awesome.
Um, um,
Cool. So should I go ahead and build out like a couple inputs, or just the what are we going to do? A name and an email, you think?
yeah, yeah. I'll probably we'll probably just do email and a submit input. And I would say maybe I mean we'll wrap those up in a couple elements too, just for containment purposes. So
Cool.
basically, like when this is all over, what happens is that input is just invisible. So it's just something that's interactive and lays on top of another element that's doing all the fun stuff. So
Awesome.
mm, so we have balloon.
Yeah. So the I'll talk to chat while you keep going. So basically, had some colors picked out, had these balloon fonts picked out. So a little bit of upfront work that we'll have to do here. This won't theoretically happen in the future, but we'll take a little bit of time during this next week, and we will get this settled, get this kind of squared away. In the meantime, next week, and I'm not trying to look past this already. I just know that font face stuff isn't the most thrilling. But anyway, next week we actually have Cassie Evans, who that's why her picture is there, coming on next week to do some SVG stuff, and really like the whole idea behind bouncy castles and everything. That's like there's so much there with like SVG and just making like squishy animations and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see what she comes up with. After that, we have George Francis coming on. He is, I'm just going to hop over here real quick. George, I think his thing is George Does Code. Yes. So George has a bunch of wonderful pens that already lend themselves well to like this squishy feel. Like he's got some blobs. He's got just all kinds of generative art. So he's going to be coming on to do some generative stuff with us. I'm really excited for that. And last but not least, we have Liam Eagan. There we go. I can never figure out his code pen name. I cannot pronounce it. So Liam is just a master with like, would you say like shaders and how would you put it, Adam? Would you say like he's
GL, just WebGL in general. I
WebGL in
think,
general, yeah. Like this
yeah,
stuff
like
is just so cool. My
the
computer
wizard.
even thinks that I'm in a video game right now. His stuff is so just off the charts. But yeah, so he's gonna come on and build something out. Really excited. It's gonna be a super fun month. But back to this. I'm back. I just wanted to kind of tease the next couple weeks too. Cool. We're looking good.
Awesome. All right, let's throw this all in a wrapper too.
Weird question. How'd you
What
pick
am
the
I doing?
colors? Yeah, good question. Actually, I was speaking with George Francis, yeah, and Jamie. So I was working with Jamie. Whoa! Thank you so much for subscribing. Wow. Oh my gosh. And I just Angela in the chat. She had a fantastic pen I saw earlier. I'll try to bring that up by the end. Did CodePen pick that one? Might be on the front page by now. I don't know. We'll see. Killian, thank you for following, man. Appreciate it. Oh, the question of how do we pick the colors? So the colors were actually chosen. I was gonna go through and like pick out like the specific hues and stuff, but honestly, we just went with Tailwind. Tailwind has done a great job of picking out full palettes, and then from there going through and choosing out 3 of the colors. And George Francis helped me choose the colors, and Jamie Coulter helped me figure out the best way to. We first tried to programmatically make full like palettes of tints and shades of like all the different colors. Shades do not look good automatically done from yellow or orange. So we just went to Tailwind. Steve Shoger is a genius. Yeah, should have done. Oh, should have followed earlier. That's fine. But yeah, should have. I should have went to Tailwind way earlier. I spent a little too much time on Saturday picking colors. It was just Tailwind's figured it out already. All right, I am back. I feel like I keep just going off and talking. All right, so what should we be doing first or next?
Hey, so speaking of those colors, where do you have those colors hanging out?
Yeah, so I have those. Let me grab those. Let me open up VS Code. So we had, actually we can just pull up Tailwind CSS. Let's grab those colors. Here we go. So color palette reference. Here, I'm going to drop this in the chat in CodePen, open chat. Cool. They're right there if you can see those. All right, so the ones that we've narrowed down, like it's not that it's like anything else is completely off the table, but it's mainly just that like these are kinds of the colors that we're going to be going with. Rose, yellow, and blue. And then we can use the warm gray palettes. So let me know if you need any more assistance with that. Rose is at the very bottom, and then we got yellow and blue.
All right, cool. And we're going with all variants too?
Totally up to you.
With 500s?
It's okay. Yeah, the 500s are probably the standard that you want to go to.
Use some dark.
Did Adam roll that out while you were talking? Yeah, he did. And here is the colors if you want to follow along at home. Nacho Cheese, thank you for following.
Yeah. All right.
Mark McIntosh, good to see you, man. All right, cool. Yeah, so we're creating some SCSS variables. We got rose, we got blue.
We said rose, yellow, and blue?
Yeah.
Cool.
If you want me to grab those, I can.
I got it now.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll throw those in. That way I can, normally I like to work with CSS variables, but in this instance, it's nice for using light and darken functions instead of pulling in all their the variants that they're working with.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually going to adjust this wrapper here. Yeah.
Hey, Nuha, what's up?
So I'm gonna do a lot of absolute positioning here.
It would increase Adam's sound. She's I don't think I can increase Adam's sound, but if you could, yeah, just.
You know what? I have like the background noise dampening.
Gotcha.
Turned on, and I think that's probably what's.
I'm turning myself down just so that at least we're even and people can turn it up without me coming in and just Kool-Aid manning their earbuds.
Let me make an adjustment here real quick because.
No worries. Thank you for saying so, Nuha. Appreciate it.
My volume a little bit. All right. I've got construction going on outside the house that's been happening for the past several weeks. So it's like, I'll try to keep that dampener on as much as I can. Gets a little nuts around here. All right.
Okay, position.
So
that's sorry. I came in a picture type.
Yep.
Cool.
We're going to do this for a lot of things, actually.
All right, cool. So do you want to walk me through the rest of it and kind of explain it to me, and I can take the wheel on it a little bit? Andy Barefoot, good to see you, sir. All right, cool. So where should I go to next?
For the email input, let's like all the elements basically within the form, we're gonna just max out the height. For both the inputs, and we're gonna go absolute on those as well. Oh, that's fun.
Great. Jamie, thank you so much for following people.
This helps. And actually, I'm gonna wildcard some stuff here. Let's box sizing border box these things so that we don't wind up with some.
Yeah, so people following along, this is just going to affect everything inside the body, right? Wildcarding it and just making it so that box sizing. Mark McIntosh, thank you for following, sir. Appreciate it. Cool. Right. So input, we got height 100. We went with 100 too. Oh, 75%. Cool.
Yep. I'm gonna take it to 75 and 25 on the.
Sounds good.
We're gonna end up probably doing a lot of nudging.
Got it. So you're using input and affecting email and submit. Cool.
I guess we'll let's apply this to all inputs.
That makes sense. Cool. I was a bit concerned it would wait, what's going on? Oh, yeah. Jamie's asking if running some of my gaming things will work. Unfortunately, it's not going to work. It's not even not even up and listening right now. It's massive frozen overlay over Adam's face. It should. I mean, but it wouldn't be as fun if Adam was frozen for 5 seconds from typing. It just wouldn't have the same effect as it does in the game.
Man, I wish I could integrate some TensorFlow stuff. I'd throw that pizza on my face real quick or something.
Oh man, yeah, and you've got some great webcam stuff. Your catalog is just it's rich, it's deep.
Thanks. All right, so for our purposes, we don't really need to worry about styling the form because, like I mentioned, we're not really going to see it at all.
Yeah,
I think this submit button maybe we'll keep visible just for the text itself.
Cool.
But otherwise, yeah, we're not going to mess with it. And I'll get into why in just a moment here. So what we're going to do is like add what I'll call like the fake form, right? In fact, maybe we'll just give it that ID, and we're going to throw it also in the wrapper.
So is this fake form just a div?
More or less. I mean, so for now it is. Once we get into the JS, then we'll see what kind of what happens within there. So, and I'm actually going to throw some like dummy content. We're going to make a wrapper for that. Probably some better naming conventions that we could be using here, and an empty span just to kind of placehold. I'll explain why we do this in a second, but I guess it makes sense to do that right now. What we're going to wind up doing is taking these form inputs as they're submitted and plopping them into this fake form div, applying them there. But the reason we need a placeholder span is because once this form is invisible, we no longer have a cursor, right? So like we're going to want to have some kind of animation or something to indicate where the cursor position is. So that's where the span comes in.
So we're going to style this to have that kind of pointer, or
exactly.
Okay.
And let's turn autocomplete off.
Yeah.
Because and let's make this required.
Cool. Don't get that little thing anymore.
Because autocomplete is going to obstruct the view of all the coolness that's happening ultimately. So again, this form is going to be invisible, but what we're going to do with the JS, we can start in on that now. Let's like go and grab our various, let's set up our variables real quick.
Awesome.
So let's see. Let's get our form, which is called bounds.
Charlou. And Leah in the chat is saying that she loves your Take On Me pen.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I
appreciate that.
Yeah, that's one of my absolute favorites. That became an article on Front End Horse. That was a lot of fun to write. There's so much involved in that. All right, cool. So bounce equals document. Okay.
And that will be actually the wrapper that we're going to want to just kind of whizzing my way through this. So we'll take those two things.
Okay, so you got the real form and the fake form. Got it.
Right. And then so on our form, we'll want to add an event listener for key up. And we'll make up a function for that real quick here.
Cool.
We'll append a character. So that way, like what's going to happen down here then is like every time a character is pressed within the form, then we're going to append it to the div here that's like pretending to be our form.
Perfect.
And then we'll want another one for submit ultimately, but let's get through this first.
Got it. Okay.
This cool. So and for these purposes, I guess at this time, let's make the form. Let's drop the opacity a little bit so we can kind of keep track of both elements as they're populating. So down here, let's grab the value.
Gonna make my. Is that a little better, chat? I just made my text a little bit bigger. Can you see this a bit better? Is that more helpful?
And let's set up a
there we go.
blank value for the form result,
Gotcha,
which will happen when we split things.
All right, cool.
So what we're going to do here is because we're working with ultimately I'm wanting to animate each of these characters individually, which means splitting them up into spans. So that'll be like the next function that we work with and appending these characters so that what is now this placeholder span will be replaced by the characters that we're adding. A lot of times I like to use Stephen Shaw's splitting library just because it's really easy to reach for and it does a great job. Like he's thought of some great little key details.
Awesome.
That make it really fun to work with. But in this instance, we'll just kind of roll our own because it's shorter. So,
all right. Sorry, Stephen, if you're watching, maybe next time, buddy.
No love lost. It's a nice like compact library that
it's great.
9 times out of 10 I'm reaching for it. So
yep. Let me get that. No, not the React. Just gonna grab this for the chat. So this is what Adam's talking about. Great library for splitting up stuff. I actually do something similar on the front end horse site. I don't actually use that library exactly, but I actually went to the source for that and stole some of his wonderful ideas and use it to make the text bounce as you mouse over it. My mic volume. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Angela. Now Alex's voice is lower. Okay. I will that one's easy. I can always get louder. It's making other people louder when I'm already at the or when they're already maxed out that I just don't know how to do yet. OBS is still kind of new to me. I'm just happy that y'all are here and that you can hear us at all. So that's good. But let me get back to paying attention to what Adam's doing. I feel like I'm such a kid in a candy store just looking around and seeing people talking and stuff. All right, cool. So I'm just trying to decipher this. Input data.
Yeah. We're going to split up all the text content that's
on
that's
everything.
Thrown in on everything. Yeah. So we're gonna split all that up, and then we're gonna ultimately iterate through those and append them to the div. So and then fake form here, the inner HTML, that's clearing it on every keystroke. So we're clearing it and redoing it on every keystroke. There's probably a faster way where we could just add or subtract each one.
Totally works for now.
It's easier, like, when users are deleting and stuff, just to clear the whole damn thing, like, every time, and you can't really see it. So if you can't see it, it isn't there, right?
Right.
So let's iterate through. Get a result.
And thank you for the feedback, Faris. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Know it's late over in France. You guys are fantastic people for being here to support. And speaking of support, Salting, sponsored by Prismic, we actually have 2 Bruno Simone courses that we are giving away. Bruno generously sent us 2 what was I going to say? 2 copies of his course. So please enter the raffle. Love that we are able to kind of spread the learning around. We're learning from Adam right now, and you can potentially learn from Bruno. So Bruno Simone, fantastic guy. Thank you so much, Bruno. And please enter that raffle. Just hit that exclamation mark enter and you're in. All right, so Form value equals email.value. And that's coming from...
No. All right.
So where are you at now? I'm trying to find your little marker. That's one thing about the CodePen collab that's tricky. Yeah, where are you?
Down in the JS. Yes.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so
cool. So sorry, where's email coming from?
I need to hold on a second.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry if I'm jumping the gun.
No, email should. Do we have the ID set? Yeah. It should pull from. Hold on a second. I think we need to.
There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so.
There we go. So.
So this function takes whatever we enter into the real form and moves it over into the fake form, correct?
That's right. Yeah. Cool. So it will shuffle all that into fake form. Let's see. Where have I gone wrong here?
No worries. So split text is the array from input data.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, Angela, the course is awesome. I've only done like the first module so far, just not because of the course, just because of me and my time, but it is so well put together. Can't recommend it enough, at least the first module. But the whole thing is really good. Like yeah, if you're gonna learn 3D from anyone, or 3JS from anyone, he's definitely one of the best people to learn it from.
Cool. One second.
Yeah. So what are we hitting a bug on? You want to talk it out?
Yeah. Well, it seems to be. It looks like we're not appending this data. So let me.
Yeah.
Check the console here real quick and.
Create text node. Save some effort with sanitization compared to inner HTML. Interesting.
Oh.
Thank you, Mark. I don't think I've used create text node. That's cool. Alan seems to say there wouldn't be quotes around the data char value, would there? Or data char value around this bit.
Yeah, actually, because that's an attribute. That's the intent there is that's a.
Right.
Yeah, so. Oh, that's why. But we probably need to have some.
Oh, right, because it would just be. Yeah. Good eye, Alan.
So let's try that now. No, it's still not wanting to append. Where have I gone wrong here?
No worries.
Let's see.
Should the listener be on the email, not on the bounce? That's what Killian's saying.
Let's try that. Usually I would think the listener would. No, yeah, because I mean it'll work on the form too. Like I need key up on the form, so. Are we? All right, just a second here. Let me.
getting stuff in the console, but I don't know if it's old. It might be old.
Yeah, it's from
Okay.
yeah, from the format being.
No worries.
Um,
So, Alan, it's supposed to be taking fakeform.innerHTML plus equals result. That's what Jamie's saying. Down here, fakeform.innerHTML plus equals result.
doesn't seem to.
Yeah, so my understanding to Alan right now, what it's supposed to be doing is, yeah, time to break out the console log is what Killian says. Yeah, so what it should be doing is taking the things that are typed into this this input here, and instead piping them over into this div, I think specifically into this span, but it might just be here. And not actually putting them here. So you use the input as my basic understanding. We're using the input as a way to, I think accessibly capture the user's cursor and let them type. But then,
oh my God, I see the problem. I'm sorry.
It's
Go
fine.
ahead. Yeah, there's a case issue here. Yeah, so there we go.
Cool.
Now
You're
it's
just like
it's
we
working.
need a capital letter somewhere.
Yes.
That's fine.
Awesome.
This is hey, this is real. Who has
I'm
it?
a professional.
That's
All right.
how it is. Yeah. Totally fine.
Sweet. All right.
Cool. See. Cool.
Yeah, go ahead and type in and you'll see
Yep.
it appended there. It's not where it needs to be just yet from a style standpoint, but it's doing what we expect it to. So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody. Sorry,
Great
thank
job.
you for bearing with
This
us.
is real life. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're saying
Yeah.
real life. What was the
Right.
real world like mantra or whatever? Like
Oh.
when things start to get real. Like on the real
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
right?
yeah. This is what happens.
Cool. Thank you for hanging with us, chat. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all hanging in there for that.
Yeah.
Absolute mess. Yeah. Okay, so like what we'll do now is kind of start styling out these the fake form here. So throw that up top, and let's see. I'm gonna make it like the height and width synonymous with what we have for the inputs, so that it's kind of able to nicely overlap. And then we'll start throwing some SVG fun stuff in here.
Awesome. Wish I could follow you better. No, didn't open that. Are you in the line 8? Is that where you are? Sorry, I'm just trying to follow you around so they can see what you're doing, but line 27. Okay, yeah, so it shows me that you're at line 27 now, I think. Yep, there we go. Cool. All right, so that's the feature. Thanks, CodePen.
So what we'll do first, like the first things first, is to create that cursor, because it's not going to be there because our input is going to be gone.
We're creating like a fake line.
Yeah. So we'll just
clever.
do a quick flashing line. So we'll just use our pseudo, and actually we just want to do this on the last span, so that there's not a flashing line after every single character that's typed in.
Okay. So last of type will do that for us. Cool.
You'd probably just, let's just make it easy and use that bad boy.
The old pipe.
There it is, yeah. And it looks like we're in need of some font size adjustment and positioning, but we'll get there. And we'll do
this is awesome. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but just faking like built-in operating system stuff just feels really cool. There's something about that.
Let's try.
Look at that.
Steps are always weird, right? Like it it never
Yeah,
quite seems to want to. There we go. That's a little more like it.
that's so
It's
cool.
probably a little too fast,
A little
but
fast, yeah. But that's
yeah.
great.
All right.
I would
So
never question that. I
that's
have
right.
have you done
It's
this on your other ones? And I just
yeah,
yeah, look at that.
yeah. I've had to do that. So
I never questioned that bit. That's so funny.
yay. Let's see here. We're gonna take in again like uh, here. I should just create a real quick mix in to do all this repetitive stuff, but I'm not. So,
Yeah, if you
let's
think
do it again. I'm never quite sure like how much I'm going to keep doing the same thing or not. So it's all right. Let's set our font size. Let's go with well, yeah. Since we don't have a base set, see how that looks. And what we actually need for this instance is a monospaced font.
right. We had the one for
Yeah.
the Next.js thing. How do you want to pull one
Yep.
in?
Um, we can just Google Fonts one
You
if we
said
want.
what?
I guess
Fonts
we
one?
can Google Fonts it.
Oh, okay, yeah, got it. Google Fonts one. I heard that as a monospace. It sounds like a monospace font. Fonts one.
That's
I don't know.
let's find something kind of soft. Here's an IBM Plex. It's kind of soft. Let's use
Yeah, that's
that.
nice.
Why not? I'm not going to spend too much time fishing around for it. So um, we'll go with
Awesome.
the regular whatever. Let's just import that. Um,
So, can you explain why we need a monospace for this?
I was hoping you'd ask that. Yeah,
That's why I'm here.
because
That's the only reason I'm here. I'm leaving
all
after this
right.
question.
Yeah. No, we need a monospace font because we're going to work with a offset path and space out all these characters. So like if there's any variance between the width of those characters, then it gets super super janky. Like and I'll switch off that mono font um, in a moment, and then you can get a
Okay.
feel for like why that's so crazy. So um, for these spans, for now, we're going to actually define a width, and I'm going to say like 15 is probably going to be fine. Um, so
So
let's
that's for each like letter container, correct?
yeah.
Cool.
And I'm turning off pointer events on our fake form
Okay.
because we
So
want
that the
to
mouse won't
interact
have any
with.
effect on them, and you can't highlight
That's
them. Is that
that's right.
correct?
That's right.
Cool.
Yep. Okay. So it looks like our font is coming in uh, pretty well centered and spaced right now. So
Yeah.
that's good. We'll probably pad them out a little bit, but this will change down the road because these are all going to be again like set on an offset path, which will um, cause them to flow and change like into kind of a weird space. So you'll see what I mean in just a
Got
little
it.
bit here. All right, let's get to the fun. Let's build an SVG. So what I like to work with, and I kind of got started ahead of time, like building around, but this
Yeah.
Anthony Dugois,
Yeah. Can you
who
drop a link to that
I will
somewhere?
do that. Yeah. Well, so I actually modified his pen and have it here, which I'll throw into Twitch here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Um, yeah.
Uh,
So that's pretty awesome. Like his version was messed up as a result of something being changed with post CSS. So um,
oh yeah, I remember
uh,
this.
yeah. So I've done my best to kind of fix it a little bit, and some of the commands weren't working properly. So this is what I'll use. Basically, the reason that I love to use this is because you have a great visual idea of like where all these paths are, and it makes it super easy to just like as long as you have a matching number of points and you don't change the path style effectively or the point style, then you can actually just leverage CSS to manipulate paths, which is really cool. Like so when it comes to like morphing things, um, it makes it like a pretty flawless, like seamless way to handle it if you don't want to reach for something like GSAP or something to do
Yeah.
it.
I
Um,
uh, I learned that from you, honestly. Let's see if I can see one of your more popular pens. There was this one, Canyonlands, right?
Yeah,
Canyonlands.
that one's doing that. Yep.
Yeah,
That was kind of fun.
that's how I learned that. I
Yeah.
can't
So
find it real quick, so I'll just skip. But yeah.
that.
Anyway,
Yep. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna work with that just to simplify our paths and make them sort of easy to work with.
cool. So
So
just
I'm
in case
gonna
the chat
start.
missed that, just want to say it one more time. As long as Alithia's here. Awesome. Thank you so
Yay,
much. Thank
that's
you so much
cool.
for following. It's great to have you here too. Just in case anyone missed that in the chat because I was talking over it or whatever. Yeah, so as long as two SVGs have the same number of points, CSS can morph between them. So as long as like two SVGs both have 5 points, you can do a cool morph where I don't need to explain the word morph, I think. But if you have like 6 to 5 points, you need something like morph SVG from GreenSock or something a bit fancier. So Adam is intentionally keeping his different shapes with the same number of points so that CSS can just handle the tween or the transition.
So I'm gonna throw in a couple markers here. And the purpose of using markers is because we're going to build a bouncy castle, but I want to have like some, I guess, like decoration at the ends and starts of some of the paths that we'll generate. So markers are like a good way to do that, like basically to plop those things on top of.
What do you mean by markers?
So markers can be used like I think the general intent for markers is if you were to like draw out a graph or something like that, you can like the most typical use cases that you'll see is somebody using like a dot along a path or
Okay.
Like an arrow or something, an arrowhead at the end of the path.
Cool.
But it gives us a convenient way to decorate our paths. So I'm going to actually start drawing the paths in real quick because I'm going to just generate these with Anthony's tool here.
Christopher, thank you so much for those subscriptions. That's so generous. Oh my God. Wow. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Sorry to interrupt, Adam. Christopher.
No, that's great. Awesome.
You're amazing.
Definitely.
Christopher's been here for like every one of my streams since minute one to the very end. Been phenomenal moderator. Shouted her out the other day on Twitter, but I want to do it right here again. You're fantastic. Really appreciate it.
Let's close that path. And for brevity's sake, let's copy paste and we'll do this will be the top.
Thank you for the follow, Zalashub. You are now a horse. Welcome.
Oh,
If people become official horses once they join, that's
I love it.
That's the big perk. Is that
That's fantastic. You are now a horse.
Just like I was like, they could be like horse pals or like you can like join the saddle. Like everyone has like a group thing. But do you know Thomas Middleditch, the comedian?
Oh yeah.
So he streams now and he plays games and his followers are rats. So I'm like, I'm just gonna ride with that and just go with horses. But yeah. So I'm like, yeah, you're a horse. So yeah, when people join his, they just like it says it's like Thomas is now a rat. I'm like, that's brilliant. I'm not gonna top that.
So that's problematic. I don't want these as definitions here.
Okay,
that's for later. That's when our markers come. So I'm like, oh yeah.
All right.
Nice to have some paths.
Now, do they need a stroke or something?
Let's see. I may need to. No, it's probably because of. I think I need to define. Oh, no. Here's our issue. We're doing it again. Let's close these.
Have some shader geniuses in the chat.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, you can't self close a path?
I thought I could.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have the same ID for two paths. That's the beauty of copy pasting. So this one will be, let's see.
I think this is inside the same. This is all inside the same one. Yeah.
Oh,
an ID
yeah.
there.
Yep. All right. Yeah, you can feel free to delete stuff too.
All right, yeah. I just don't want to delete it as you're deleting it. I don't know what happens to the time stream then. I don't want to create alternate universes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's always my fear in life is just, is that
Don't
going to happen? I saw the Loki trailer. I'm concerned about it. It's a thing.
Maybe we have to go ahead and give it a stroke.
Yeah, I think it probably needs something to...
Let's yeah,
cool.
all right. So that's looking better. So let's position this.
All right, so you added that. Cool.
And we've got a view box. So let's make it consistent, and then let's do a little calc to get this thing centered.
All right, so giving it a width, a height, and cool.
All right, so bingo. And let's go with my second favorite stroke line cap. Guess what it is? It's round. That's my favorite stroke line cap. Is butt.
Is butt? Is butt the first one?
It's the best. It's so great. Like what a wonderful property. So yeah. So and it's not going to make much difference just yet.
This is a really nice way to center that, though. I usually do top and then transform. Yeah, that's so much nicer though.
Transform's not bad either. I mean, it depends if you know if you have a defined width.
It's nice.
So let's do a little thing just to like show what we're doing here.
Right, the defined width might be what I don't have, and that might be why I usually don't do it for that.
Let's see.
Good.
Let me make sure that. So I need to modify these paths a little bit in Anthony's fun editor.
Right. So right now Adam is tweaking things inside this. Unfortunately, I don't have it set up right now for him to share screen. That's definitely like more of an episode 2 type thing. Usually in the pilot episode of shows, they just like lay out the plot, they introduce the characters. Episode 2 and maybe even season 2 is usually when you get like, a bit more going on, some screen share on the other end. There's more stuff going on then, but
all right,
I don't have it set up yet.
We're going to modify these. I'll just do it on hover right now just so we can get an idea of what's going on.
That's a smart way to work for now.
I think the mid should do that too.
If you just arrived, make sure you hit !enter in the chat to enter to win Bruno Simone's fantastic 3JS journey. Fantastic course. There will be 2 winners today, so make sure you enter. Just like that. Cool. So on hover.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Yeah, these are both the paths. So let's attach those. And we should see it.
Yep, that's working for me.
Open up.
This is going to be cool. All right,
Chad,
I'm starting to see what Adam's got planned for us. Are you seeing it?
I'm going to reach into my library of transitions here that I love to work with all the time. And let's do, let's add a cubic Bezier that's a little bit bouncy. So now we should open up with a little bit of springiness. But we also want to increase the stroke width, I think, when we do that too, because that doesn't feel like much of a bounce house. So let's decrease it.
Wow. All right.
Let's decrease it here. And then once we hover that, which later we'll just add a body class to handle it. Let's do, what's 100 look like? Is it nuts? Oh, yeah, it's nuts. That's good though.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
fancy.
Wow.
So yeah.
Super quick question. I don't know if Adam will know or if maybe Christopher. I think you might know. Can I share this with the chat without everyone being able to edit it also? Because I don't want people going in and trying to help Adam while he's typing. But also, I would love it if you could play with this as we go. So just let me know if there's a way, like if just dropping the normal link would be good. You can use live. Jamie might know. Oh, live.
Let's see how fast should we do
So, Jamie,
this?
I should send this to the chat, is what you're saying? Change lab to live. All right.
Let's go forward with it. And let's give it a little delay so we can wait for the transition to happen.
All right, cool. So we're seeing, as you type, I hope you don't mind if I talk and recap a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yep.
I know I struggle with like thinking and hearing words, so let me know if it gets annoying. Cool.
Yeah, that's a little too much delay.
So on hover right now, what we're doing here is swapping out these two paths, the top and the mid, for the same path, Adam? Or are we swapping out top and mid for the same one? Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's
oh,
yeah,
God.
it's pretty nuts.
This is exactly what I had in mind when I pitched this show idea to you. Like, this was exactly what, you're.
All right. Let's see here, though. We got one problem, and that is our stroke line joins. Let's round those out. As much as I like the butts, stroke
Can someone
line
clip
join.
that? As much as I like the butts, just.
All right, that's a little more like
good.
it. Let's round it on out.
Yes, the bottom corner is exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
So I'm going to
How did you
add
round
just
those?
a.
What line is that? Oh, the line
that's
join.
under the path. Yeah, line
Awesome.
join. So we can round those out. And then let's add a couple more. I'm going to add a couple little lines underneath it. So I'm going to call like one the bottom and one the base here, and they'll be the same but different. We'll say. Let's see. I'm just going to copy paste these.
Okay, so a couple more paths, a couple more SVG paths.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Just to kind of fluff it out a little bit, make it, and these will just be like straight lines, but again with like that soft line join.
Okay, so you made those in this tool. Oh, no, that's the live. You
made them. I used them in
build.
Anthony's tool. Yeah, which is again awesome. But I mean, yeah, you don't really need to do that since these are strictly just lines. But
yeah, no, that's great. Nathalie Code, thank you for following. You are a horse. You are now a horse. I've got to get that delivery down.
All right. All right, that's fun. Let's see. Let's move those other ones down a little bit. What do we name them?
I could hover on this all
bottom
day.
and base.
It's so much fun. The wave kills me.
Right. So we're gonna.
All right, 56.
I'm gonna take it down like 50 pixels. Let's see what that does. Yeah, well, it helps if I make my connections here. So we need to. We're gonna actually do all the paths at 100. Actually, I might want to do these ones a little bit bigger so it kind of flares out as it goes down.
Let's see where you're at.
Oops.
So right now, are you just adding more SVG lines or SVG paths?
Yeah, and I'm just bumping up
keep up with you.
the size of them a little bit.
Cool.
Except for these transforms. Yeah, I guess I don't want to throw those in until we hover, which ultimately
Christopher
the hover
clipped
state will be.
as much as I like the butts. Perfect.
Yes, thank you. That's great. I
Uh,
appreciate you,
the
Christopher.
main point of having people on, you, Cassie next week, George Francis, is blackmail. I want to make sure that you're all unemployable, and that you all owe me a debt, or else yeah, that kind of thing. Uh, Pelsi Kongen in chat asks, for how long have you been creative coding?
Me?
Yeah.
Geez, that's actually a great question. It's probably like 8 or 9 years now, or something like
Cool.
that. I think
All right.
once I just got going on CodePen and realized how great it was for my work life in general, like then just kind of went from there. How are we winding up shifting over? That's very
Oh,
strange.
interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird though. Oh, that's why.
Is it
Hello.
expanding? Is the width changing?
Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm just wanting to bring it down just a little bit so it doesn't obstruct the text characters once
Got it.
they're
Okay, I see it
applied.
now.
So, all right,
Oh, I see what you're doing with the lines. All right.
and then
This is like
we'll go ahead.
piecing together. I love it.
Let's add some colors to some of these. So,
Yeah.
what do we do?
We
Rose, blue,
have
yellow.
rose,
You know what?
blue, yellow.
I'm just going to go R, B, and Y just
That
because
makes
we don't have a
sense.
lot of other variables right now. So let's do um, I can type.
Brilliant.
All right. All right. Well, that's fun. Oh, I love those colors. Those are great. All right.
Oh
So we've
man.
got that. So let's see here. What else do I need to throw in here? Oh yeah, I'm gonna use those markers. Um, let's see. Let's put a cap on the end of it.
Yeah, I'm curious about this marker.
Yeah. So I mean, it basically. Here, let's set some height.
Okay. Got it. I'm just checking out the MDN on it. So, got it. Okay. We're next with that arrowhead in both directions. Marker ID.
I don't know if I need to orient it.
Yeah, I have not used these. This is cool.
Mm.
I apologize if there was a view box issue on these already and I didn't read it thoroughly to Cassie and to Lewis. Such a great newsletter.
It's so good. So good.
Cool. So ID cap.
Let me whip another quick path together in Anthony's tool. I'm actually going to wrap these up.
Yeah, Angela, it's a really fun pen. Curious about the channel points. Stop by Saturdays. All right, Christopher, I got to get you on the payroll or something. You're crushing it. Curious about the channel points. Stop by Saturdays during Front End Horse and Friends play to use them and freeze players during games. I mean, what would I do without Christopher?
All right, let's see.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, so that was one thing that I mentioned to Adam Darmy is that for this kind of stuff, I didn't want Adam worrying too much about cross-browser compatibility. I kind of told him, like, for the sake of getting it done within 90 minutes, or at least around that time. Yeah, it was mainly like a don't worry about Safari kind of thing. So Darmy in the chat saying that Safari is giving problem with this code pen as usual, but it works fine in Chrome. How do you debug such scenarios of cross-browser CSS support, Adam?
Yeah. Like in this instance, like that's where you really run into snafus. It's like messing with like SVG and your CSS. Like a lot of it should either be inlined Or if you're working on like transforms or you want to have like smooth transitions, like you're probably best off going with GSAP, which
Got it.
offers like a really nice library of
Right.
stuff to work with there. So let's try and rotate this a little bit. Let's see here. I'm going to wrap it up one more time. Should be 90 degrees. Should do it.
So what's this new part?
And we'll translate. Rotating it, and then let's see. If I just bring it down a little bit, will that get it there? And close this up. So hopefully that will put it where it needs to be, and it won't. All right, fun. That's the fun with markers is like, and anything working with SVG, like transition origin, it can always be tricky here. Let's try and bring it down.
See like a little circle that's flying off to the side.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Cool. Oh, there it is. Now it's hanging out.
Alithia just asked a great question. So, Adam, while you work real quick, I'm just going to recap the theme and everything. So if you came in a little bit late, welcome. This is the very first episode of Component Carousel, where every single month we'll be building a full site around or at least a full page, right? I'm not going to about full site. Come on, a full page around a ridiculous theme. So this month's theme is Bounce House Architect. So if you know the kids toy bounce house or a bouncy house, right? These things. I'm not sure if the phrase bounce house translates perfectly, but basically think of an architecture firm that only makes bouncy houses. So the very sophisticated and very serious and professional architects, but all they do is make this. Let me try to point it the right way. Make these things. So some funny copy that we'll be able to add a bit later. But with the colorful squishiness that Adam's already bringing into this code. It's like the little toppers to the thing. I love it.
Yeah.
Make this a normal size. Oops, I accidentally added a typo to your pen.
No.
I fixed it. Amazing. So like kind of like one of these toppers. Oh, so good. Yeah, like
Let's
that.
See here.
Amazing. Yeah. So every single they're for adults too. I'm sorry. I agree. They are for adults. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday on Learn with Jason, both Cassidy and Jason were saying that they're on Edge now, and that Edge is really dope. I'll try it. I don't know. I heard Edge is good now, so like it's Chromium under the hood, but they've got some nice stuff on top. Apparently, I don't know, but yeah, apparently people are moving to Edge.
Challenge accepted. Oh
yeah,
gosh.
Right.
All right.
All right. So
let's knock down the stroke width on that marker so it's not really visible when everything's closed up. There we go.
That's such a cool trick.
Nice.
I would have never thought. First off, I didn't know, so I didn't. I would not have thought of it. But yeah, I would not know how to figure out how to put that there. That's such a great thing. And so you can make a marker. Anything like could you like use like a trace of a hand and put that?
Yeah, I mean you
marker?
can literally like. I mean, yeah.
Wow.
I mean you can. It's basically just put an SVG within one. I don't know if you could. It would be really interesting to try working with foreign object and to see if you could like crowbar an entire website into a marker or something.
Like as a marker, yeah, that'd be great.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I imagine you probably could. I don't know. Foreign object is very, very finicky. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's worth a shot if you want to punish yourself. Let's see here.
Alithia has a great idea, but it also sounds like almost a threat or something. She said to put horse heads on top of the thingies, but it almost sounds like you're putting them on pikes or something.
Oh, we can do that. That will be a little frightening, but I would like it. Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
I mean, are you trying it now? It might be.
Oh no, I mean
Okay, good,
I'd have to
good,
draw
good,
it out
cool.
or else grab it
I was
and
gonna
then
say
yeah.
it's gonna take a bit to draw that up, but I love the idea. And Killian says to put an emoji in the marker. Yeah, you could do that with a foreign object, I'm sure, or I'm not sure, but that's how you would do
Let's
that, right?
see. Let's quickly try it. Yeah, I don't know. Foreign object again is like really finicky, so
Yeah,
we'll see exactly what happens here.
it's like
But
this weird back door in SVGs that just lets you.
sometimes like I don't know if it wants like if it wants to play nice. So
This is just coming
all
out
right,
so great already, though.
let's make it an H1 just for fun. And
You want me to? Oh, there you go. You got it.
I don't know where I don't know, like yeah. See, it's probably like transformed way off into a weird space or
Yeah,
something
I
right
don't
now.
even see
So
it. No
yeah,
worries.
I don't think we're gonna get it
Fun
unfortunately.
idea though.
So I'm gonna conk that out. I love that idea too. Um, and then I want to add like a little slide here. So
That's what I was
that's
thinking,
that's
Christopher.
where I care.
Chris- Christopher just said it has to be cartoony, otherwise it's going to be a Godfather bouncy house.
All right, so let me make a quick path for our slide. Pardon me while I'm doing this because it's all happening off screen, which is not a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
all
But
good. That's
I'm
on me for not having it
I'm
having it
just
set. I'll just
dragging points
I'll
along.
just paint the picture for chat.
It
Chat.
is it is super
Imagine right
exciting.
now
I
points
know.
moving around.
I do wish I could share it with you because it's very very exciting to watch. But so that's going to be our
A little bit of
slide.
this. A little bit of like
Um,
maybe this.
and for now, that slide is actually also kind of doubles as our button, as you can see. So um,
Oh man.
um, wait, no, wait, yeah. Uh,
There's gonna be a slide, an inflatable slide, people.
uh, let's see.
Oh yeah.
What's going to get us
Adrian,
wide
welcome
enough?
to Pokey
Oh,
and
look at
Pat's
that, just
house.
about there.
Is that like Pokey from Gumby? Yeah, oh, yeah. Gumby and Pokey, yeah. Gumby and Pokey, you don't have to do what we suggest. Only brainstorming through. No, I love the brainstorming, and I support it. I want it. It's great. It's that's like half of this is that when this is like a when I'm more prepared. There's gonna be a full site with lots of like copy and stuff to fill in, and I want everyone's absurd ideas about what the copy should say and all that good stuff. So no, what you just said, Alithia, was fantastic. Brainstorming with us is half of it. This is not just a one way unidirectional chat. This is sorry,
All right.
I'm just playing with it. I'm not even looking at your code anymore. I'm doing a bad job of figuring out how you're working. So,
Oh, you're good, man.
how'd you just make the slide part? So this is just
So it looks like a straight line, but there's actually three different points on the
okay.
path, and the reason is so that they'll match up once we hover or ultimately submit. So let's throw that state in there now so you can see what that's going to look like. Um, uh, all right. So there we should have a slide that's kind of
Like a half circle
coming.
or a quarter circle.
Yeah, you see it?
Yep.
I
It
wonder if I
turns
want to
white.
maybe, yep. So I'm considering maybe extending that a little bit, or maybe we can translate it over. Um, mm,
Oh, Killian, sorry. It took me a while to understand what you were asking, and yes, it does not. I don't think Twitch allows you to write most HTML. I'm not sure, or it might be the Twitch bot I have running. And by the way, for anyone who just came through, enter the raffle for Bruno Simone's course, awesome 3JS course, by just typing !enter. hopefully, for every time that I've written it, I've been entered, and maybe I'll win it. Hopefully, I'll win both. I already have it, but I like winning things. So,
All
all
right.
right, what line are you on? Because it's telling me line 79, but I don't see your little like cursor.
I'm at 38 in the CSS actually.
Yeah. See, okay.
Um,
Now it's updated. Okay. It just didn't
so I'm
update
just
for a while.
moving that slide into position so that our little dudes can escape there. And then basically what I'll do is like grab that same path from the slide,
Okay.
and I'll actually, because I've got an extra point here, I'll build that in to extend across the line, and then we'll distribute all the characters across that offset path so that they
Oh, so
can,
you're gonna move them along this actual
yeah,
path.
right. Then they can exit out the slide. So um, let's see. Let's head to
This
our,
is such a cool concept.
and I'm gonna actually just throw in these spans right now, just so we have some dummy content so we can get it uh, here.
Start the petition, Steve. Steve says that this input should just become the browser default, and yeah, I agree. At least in Chrome. Here, Safari might have some issues, but Steve's spot on.
All right. Let's see. Let's set up an offset path here.
Cool. So you're putting in some dummy text that we can just play with and start to animate.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So, and we need to absolute position them in order for them to, and I bet they're going to do something weird right now. Yeah, let's offset distance to 100. We're just going to, where did they all go? Oh, you know what happened here?
Refreshing to find.
No, it's because the view boxes, because I'm borrowing the same, so it's probably got to come up like 400 pixels or something like that, in order to not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What's
so,
going on?
Oops. Where the hell am I? Because this path is like working off the same view box coordinates as that slide is. It's basically like at thinking that the wrapping element should be like 800 by 800 effectively. So we should be able to shift this paragraph up.
Got it.
Yeah, so that will bring our elements into position.
Cool.
Go just a little bit more with those. I'm trying to remember what the property is for offset. Is it offset direction? I think so.
I don't know.
It's offset rotate. Is that right?
Offset.
Yeah, that should be it.
Anchor. Offset rotate. Yeah. Okay. So this is for
Oh, that doesn't seem to
how
want to do
this
it.
moves
All right.
along a path.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I'm just going to transform it all. So
Okay, so with auto, it's going to curve as it moves along the path. But if you set a specific degree, it's going to stay with that degree, correct?
right.
Got it. This is cool.
So that turned him around. I think we've gone up a little too far.
I've got the
Okay, so
MDM docs up on my screen. So
Oh,
if
nice.
you use auto and 90 degrees, it'll rotate first and then it will curve with the actual path. This is pretty cool.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and then offset reverse makes them go backwards.
All right, so let's iterate through all of them and then like hook up that distance so that it kind of looks right. So we'll cap it at like 50, probably less than that. Let's say offset distance do a little calc action here. Or we could probably just do it all inside a SAS function. But
Oh, so is this for staggering the animation?
this is for staggering the characters. You see how they're all piled up on each other, so we need to like.
So we're gonna, okay, got it. Oh, so right now
Yep.
they're actually on the path already.
Yeah, they're on the path right now.
Cool.
So
Because of offset path.
there we
Got
go.
it.
So that put them in place. That feels about right.
Yeah, it
to
feels
me.
pretty good.
I'd like to shift this over just a little bit.
So okay, so you did a little SAS function, and with nth of type. Cool.
All right. So, geez, it really looks like this text needs to be shifted over if we're going to allow
Yeah, that's good.
a handful of characters. So then, when we animate them, we're just going to set that offset distance to 0, and that should slide them down. So let's do like, let's add a semicolon first and do.
So the line, so it's kind of like I wish I had like a drawing thing up. It's kind of like a straight line and then like a hook, right? So like they're on the, there it is. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to explain.
That's ridiculous.
Everybody see that? I'll refresh it real quick, or I'll rerun it. Watch the letters go. It's not exactly where Adam wants them just yet, but you can kind of see how they start out here and they go down the slide. It's working, people. It's working.
All right.
All right, Nuha,
All right.
I will run it again. You got to keep a good eye. So yeah, right now, let me. What's the shortcut for? Here we go. Yeah, so you see, it starts there, it runs down. Right now, it's not exactly where it it's still in progress, but blow my mind already. So I'm gonna like recap and try to understand it myself while you work, if you don't mind, Adam.
Sure. I'm going to set this animation play state to pause so that it doesn't occur until we
want it to.
Yeah, for now we'll say hover, and then we'll switch this hover to a body class that will handle that.
So just to recap, people, every single one of these letters is wrapped in a span, and right now it's just done. We're hard coding it, but eventually we'll have it so that the input actually makes that happen and wraps that character in a span. But for now, it's hard coded, and so each span gets a set width, and it gets placed in a specific spot along this path, and the path has that shape where it's a straight line here, and it loops down like that. So that's why it's following that path. But right now, all the letters are completely at the end, which is actually left. So it's like a right to left orientation, I think. And then, yeah, as he wants to animate it, we are changing it from it being completely offset to the left, which pushes these all the way down that path, and brings it to offset distance 0, which means they'll be at the very, very end of that path. So yeah.
All right. So yeah. So let's.
So eventually that will only move along that path when we hit submit or do something like that Adam wants to trigger that. But yeah, that's how this is working. Pretty stinking cool. Do your other forms work in a similar way, like the roller coaster and stuff like that?
Yeah. They're pretty. That one was that was pretty wild because it's like that all existed like off screen, so everything had to kind of sort of automatically scroll along with it. So that took a lot of dialing in. But this one shouldn't be so tricky. So we'll make them drop off at the end there. So let's.
Hey, Tanner's here.
It was a little too fast. So
gotta love Tanner Dolby. Very supportive. Thank you for coming through.
Hey, Tanner. Let's give it a little more time.
just real quick, I think Tanner might have just come into the chat or into the stream. Basically, we are building one component for a website that is for bounce house architects, people who build bouncy houses. You know what? Honestly, at the end of this, we should try to sell this to a company who's either already building bouncy houses or wants to get into the industry, because I think these are going to be some really fire components. But yeah, so basically that's the entire concept, and just told Adam, hey, whatever component you want to like transform from being a plain boring component, whether it's like a team component or a pricing component or any of those components that are on standard sites. And Adam, master of forms, wanted to go with that, so that's what we are building out today. He's showing us how he does it, and yeah, we got this cool bouncy house form. It's pretty cool.
Let's make
Thank you for joining, Tanner. Oh, Tanner, and Christopher beat me to it. Yeah, huge thanks to Bruno Simone for getting away 2 courses. Phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Great course. Yeah. Make sure we bring that up at the end before we draw, because actually I was going to bring it up right now, if you don't mind. I should probably log out so that you're not just seeing. There we go. Yeah. So you get to learn how to do stuff like this. So please enter the raffle in the chat. We are giving away 2 copies of this. So cool. So these are all the little lessons, the different modules that you will get to go through. So it's 40 hours of content. It's massive. So please enter in the chat. Just type !enter, and you are in it to win it. All right. Line 22. Here we go. So now what are we working on? So we're working on submit.
Yeah. Yep. So we're just adding that class on submit.
Okay.
And then we'll reset our form also.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep. So, and then we'll just do a little set timeout to pull that class back off of there. And then we'll do we'll reset our form after the timeout expires. So okay. This should now, if I flip the hover to that class name that we're working with.
Okay, so we're going to the CSS. We're changing that hover.
Line 26.
Cool, thanks. Sorry about that.
Worries. Oh, and it looks like I've placed some elements over my form, so I can't see my form anymore. I can't interact. Let's give it the old 999.
Probably not taken. Probably.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Herman Cain. All right.
Completely forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. That was his.
That was all of it, as far as I know. It was the SimCity plan, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, let's see. And then let's clear out our the inner HTML. Except let's make sure we capitalize everything we need to capitalize in order to do so. There we go.
Did y'all see
that? So that will dump those letters. And actually, I'm gonna just we're gonna keep our email input visible. So yeah, I'll just go with that one.
Just so you can follow along at home. I'm so happy, Killian. Absolutely. I just had like such a kid joy moment just now when I hit enter and it submitted, and my email slid along the thing. I absolutely had a kid joy moment. So cool.
Oh, whoops. I did the wrong one.
So where are we at? 925. All right. So what are you tweaking right now? What's
we're going to keep our submit just so we can use that text
Cool.
So we'll keep that visible.
Cool. And are you?
And so since we got all these fun font families, let's grab one.
Yeah. Okay. Here.
Let's see how Balloon looks. Oh, it's taking some time to process for me right now.
I'm seeing it over here. Just need
Oh, cool.
Bit bigger. You're not seeing it?
I'm not. No, it's not loading. I'm just the color's changing, but I'm not getting the font.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it yet. Yeah, you might have to hit refresh chat. I'm also not seeing it when let me see if I have to save.
Oh, the base one is working.
Okay, now I'm seeing it.
It's a horrendous color.
Oh, you got that memorized. Okay. Is that only a WebKit thing?
I believe so. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. In fact, I don't think it'll auto prefix for you and still work. I could be wrong, but
interesting.
Yeah, pretty certain. You know what I haven't tried is can we double this up? No, we can't. Right. Yeah, I figured.
Colby. Oh, I was gonna raid you. Colby. So shout out to Colby Fayak. Thank you so much for raiding. Hey, welcome everyone. Raiding with a big party. Thank you so much, Colby. So first off, I want to say thank you to Colby. Totally my fault for encroaching on his time. He kind of always streams at this time, so my fault. I'm gonna try not to step on Colby's toes. Everyone knows how vengeful he gets, so I don't want to wake up with a horse mask in my bed. But yeah, so basically, no. So Colby does some fantastic streaming. He does the Kobayashi Maru. I always stutter on that word. And yeah, you should definitely subscribe to Colby's channel. Follow him. He does some great stuff. And what was I going to say also? Yeah, also to people who just came, welcome. Enter the raffle. If you hit !enter in the chat, you are entered to potentially win a phenomenal 3D course, Bruno Simone's 3JS Journey. It's awesome, so go ahead, enter. And we are building out. I'm so psyched about this. We are building out, and we're getting kind of towards the end of it. A contact form for a website for architects who build bouncy houses. So you're going to enter your email, and I'll show this to you in just a second. And it's so good. It's so good. So type that for the raffle. All right. So where are we at right now, Adam? Sorry, I got distracted.
No, we're good. I think we're just about there. I think what I'm going to do now is just add some netting to this.
Netting
pseudo element to keep all the kids inside so nobody gets injured or whatever happens.
You got Adam's always thinking about the kids first, man. That's why I respect and appreciate you.
I take safety very seriously. Yeah. So
Christopher, thank you so much. Christopher's got these answers on blast. Yeah.
Let's see.
That's from the weekend gaming stream. Welcome, Sarcastic Sabs. Thank you for following. Appreciate it. So here we go. So back on this, I'm gonna type in my email, Alex. I think we just hit. I think we're in the middle of building out a thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's kind of slow to update for me right now, so it's yeah. So yeah.
No worries. So are you gonna put a pattern on this? Like a netting, or is it just gonna be a transparency thing?
That's cool. That's the plan. So Ultimately, I'll just
So put the px there. Repeating linear gradient, 45 degrees with yellow, 5 pixels.
does that seem to be right? Oh, that's pretty chunky. Oh no, that's about right.
Pretty
Except
freaking
for
cool that you just busted that out. Can you explain that real quick to the chat? Exactly what?
sure, yeah. We just go with if we use repeating linear gradient, we're able to effectively set up a background pattern that will repeat itself. And if we make a hard stop at a finite pixel or percentage or whatever measurement unit you happen to be using, then we get a nice little fun mesh sort of thing like that.
Gotcha.
And then we'll go ahead and replicate that at the opposing degree so that we'll get our crisscross sort of mesh, and then we
Cool.
can just probably go with
Wow.
I forget what colors I used for everything here. So now I have to. This is my problem with states and state management. I get a little far ahead, and yeah, see, it's
No, it's
this
all
is gonna have
good.
to
Yeah.
slide itself on down, but
So just real quick for the chat, just gonna go back over that background thing because I think that's like magic. I just love this kind of stuff. Yeah, so you can comma separate things in the background property, and what Adam was saying there with the 5 pixels and 5 pixels, the reason that's the same value in the 25 and the 25 is so that we get that hard stop, because yes, it's a gradient, but if you use the same value back to back, it goes from transparent to yellow immediately, so there's no like smooth fade, and that's awesome. And Tanner in the chat says, "Gotta have the netting. I fell off a trampoline with no netting as a kid and broke my humerus." Adam, much
oh,
respect. So
there's nothing humorous about that.
not at all, not at all.
Oh, that sucks.
And
Yeah.
Aaron asked who did my horse icon. So actually, I did that. I modeled the little red horse that's kind of the mascot or whatever for front end horse, and then yeah, just kind of chopped out its. Christopher says dad joke. Yep. It was definitely not fun. All trampolines must have nets. But yeah, so the horse is just a blender model that I then took the head of. That sounds bad. Doctors all said that joke when I was in the hospital. The doctors should be beyond that. They should be beyond saying the humorous joke when they're treating broken humorous. Let me just. Nobody look at my screen real quick. Nobody look. This is in. Yeah, it's the arm bone. Everyone knows it's the arm bone. Yeah. I didn't need to look that up. I knew it was the arm and not the leg. That's fine. Mark, not at all. One of the pubs had a bouncy castle, so occasionally there would be bottles of beer bouncing about the house.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's
That's
a
an
wild party.
interesting bar. Is that Scotland? Is that is that standard? Is that just what like a quinceañera is in Scotland? Like the equivalent of just like a kid's birthday party, just beers bouncing around in a bouncy house. All right, let's see what we got now. Um, it's so good, Adam. We might have. Is the netting off? Is the netting not working?
Yeah. There's something
Okay,
with
cool,
that linear gradient. I've just got to flip it real quick.
cool. There we go.
Okay, so I guess we don't want to go that high, and let's set a delay on it.
Trying to find you. This CodePen collab's awesome. I just keep losing you because like the line thing doesn't update as quickly as possible. Or
Oh yeah.
I just keep having to like scroll up and down to find your cursor.
And let's set a little bit of an animation delay. Let's make it a little bit longer for these characters.
Can you give me a heads up of where you are? Sorry.
Uh, yeah, well, I'm actually not where I want to be just yet.
Yeah, no worries. Just want to
So
follow along on.
yeah, I'm on the characters right now, which is the line 134 in the CSS.
Cool.
I'm going to give them just a little bit of delay before they take off. Let's see what that looks like. This is. All right.
When you get a sec, can you break down this animation property? Just because I always get mixed up with which, like,
Yeah,
second's the one.
dude,
Slide is the animation name.
Sure. Like, honestly, I think the main ones that you need to know is like the seconds or milliseconds. The first one that you define will be the duration, and the last one that you will define will be the delay.
Okay.
But like animation is like a really weird, like when you're doing like compound properties like this, or doing the shorthand for animation, it's like really strange because you can move things around, like, and it's not nearly as strict as like something like background. So you can shuffle like
Got it.
like iteration count or something to another position, and like it's fine. Like it's not quite as picky. So sometimes when I'm looking at other folks' like animation layouts, I'm confounded because yeah, only because they're just using totally different lineup. Okay, let's see. I want to just make that a little bit smaller. So I think, like, let's calc the width on this and take off 50 pixels, and then we'll move it left 25 pixels, and that should look a little bit better. But then I also noticed that our form is sitting behind our input stuff, or
The divs
oh,
and
okay.
like the other stuff.
Yep. So we'll z-index that up there, and yeah, again, this is where you get into like state stuff, where it's like best to just add that class to the body so you can start working across various states. But
so just for people who recently joined, the way that this is working is Adam has a form here, but when I start to type these letters, the JavaScript is capturing that, and instead it's adding a span inside. Is it field text? No. So it's adding it inside this fake form wrapper, and so. Adam, are we doing that because it's easier to animate these spans than it would be to animate things inside the input? Is that like we wouldn't have the same access to those elements? Is that why?
Yeah. Like we can't like go ahead and like append a bunch of spans within the input. I mean, technically, I think we probably could, but that's like a
Kind of
super
bad
janky
practice,
weird thing to do. Yeah. So
Cool.
we're just going to separate completely. From an accessibility standpoint, like this is obviously very, very bad. But I mean, it could be cleaned up with proper attributes and everything.
Right.
And obviously labeling is a nice thing to do. Yeah. So there's that. Let's see.
So yeah, it's like a little bait and switch where we get the benefits of the form, and that we can like click it, we can tab into it or whatever, and start to type into it, and it captures those inputs. But we then add it into this div, and then we're able to animate it. So that's kind of the main trick. Would you say, Adam?
That's about it in a nutshell. Yeah, you got it. Let's knock off the opacity on these guys, because I think we're like at time right now. So I don't want to eat everybody's afternoon, but I think we're about there. We can work on some of the finer points.
Not that it matters, but all right.
What happened?
No, I was having trouble typing my email is what was happening. It wasn't a bug on your side. It was me forgetting what my email is. Adam, it's so good. It's so good. So, to anyone who isn't who doesn't have it yet, that should be right there. Let's hit save. Make sure you refresh it. Uh, yeah. So we're taking this email address. So, poof, let's walk through what's happening, right? So, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna say how I think I understand it, and feel free to correct it or add to it, right? So we have a form. When a key is pressed in that form, it instead takes that character and appends it to a div that we have over top, right? And so we can add all these characters in there. I'm gonna go Alex at yeah, I'll do it over here. There we go. So Alex at front end dot horse. So I typed that out. That's all going into the div. Nothing's actually being entered into the input itself. Correct? That stays empty because we clear it out.
That's right. Yep.
Cool. So then on submit, we are just appending or not appending. We're adding this sliding class onto our body, actually, right? So we actually add sliding onto that body, which has a whole bunch of animations and other things connected to it. So we add sliding as soon as I submit. And from there, we have a few things that happen. So first off, this border here is kind of it's kind of like a chameleon or like a fake border, in that this is an SVG path that actually opens up and does a couple different things. There's actually a couple lines hiding at the bottom that will come down. So as we hit submit, those start to transform and change color. The top opens up and there's SVG markers on the very top of the form that kind of create those big yellow orbs or whatever. And then we also have the net that comes up, which is just one SVG with a background and a clever use of linear gradient, right?
Got it.
And then the main thing that I think is kind of like how the heck are we doing that, is that we are putting all of these spans on a path, on this path that has this shape. I'm going to trace it with my mouse, people. So it kind of goes horizontal, and then it kind of makes like a J swoop. And so that's the shape of the path. And right now, all of these are completely at the end of the path. And so as soon as we hit submit, they all start to slide towards the beginning of the path, which is actually the bottom of the slide. So I'm going to hit submit. We're going to see everything kind of morph, and those letters are going to go from having an offset path determined by their position in this position within that div, because we're using nth of type. So they each get like 15 pixels to themselves, and they're all going to suddenly slide off and go. So let's see it at work. Oh, so cool. So cool. Yeah, so those are the markers at the top. So Alex, I'll do it one more time. So these little yellow things at the end are the markers that Adam defined. Oh, and you got a little red thing at the top. So good. Adam, phenomenal. Just so cool. Amazing stuff. I'm going to make this public. Actually, honestly, this should be your code pen. We didn't think this out ahead of time because it wasn't even going to be a code pen. But I feel weird making this my code pen. You know what I mean?
It is A-okay with me, man. Go for it.
Form. I was going to name it then by Adam Kuhn.
I'm just going to leave it open so I can like screw around
absolutely.
with it. Like after you share it.
Can you not edit collab pens? Maybe that's what it is. Change view, editor view. There we go. Form or bouncy. There we go. That's as good attribution as I'm gonna get, I think. Created by Cobra. Yeah, and I say this every time that I like get on the air with you or anything, but Cobra Winfrey, just the best, name
Oh, thanks.
on CodePen. Period. I love the story that you told me of like how like you went into an interview once and they're like Cobra, like they knew you. It's just so good, but they called you Cobra.
They love it.
It's just
I can't
wonderful.
get
I
rid of
didn't
it.
want to be here. Yeah. So Adam has a few pens that are kind of based around this. You go popular. That are kind of based around this similar concept, I would say, of forms. Here's Subscriber Coaster. So I'll drop this in chat real quick. So alex@gmail.com. And you hit subscribe. And so is this the same thing where these are all now spans and they're all on a path and they all go to the end of that path?
Yeah, you're working with
So
basically the
good.
exact same concept here. So
Yeah, no, but that, I mean, yeah. I hope everyone's seeing this in like 60 FPS or whatever, because it is just great.
it is an absolute beast,
So
like
good.
on your browser. But
It's great. Oh, wow, you gave a gradient while I was gone. Awesome. Oh, it's so fun. It is so
I
fun.
had to give it a
Love
background. Yeah.
Yeah, so please spend some time going through Adam's CodePen stuff. It was Christopher just said after I got done with the roller coaster email thing, she goes, I was nervous that this was the butt one for a second.
Oh,
There's
where's
a
the
different
butt
one
one?
that just goes into a butt. It's hilarious. This is so cool.